Hello and welcome back to the Rugby Paper Podcast. Slightly different format today as it is just myself. I've given the columnist the week off. Joining me to take a deep dive into his career so far and his move to Italian rugby, as well as preview the upcoming fourth round of the Guinness Six Nations, is Italy, Benetton and former Harlequins winger Louis Lynagh. Slightly different layout today, as you can see. I've given the columnist the week off. Myself and today's special guest Louis Lynagh are going to get into it. We've got a tantalising round 4. Ireland are hosting the French is the big one on Saturday afternoon to keep the Irish Grand Slam alive. Potentially resurgent Wales against Scotland. We'll see if that performance against Ireland can galvanise them even more. And then Louis Lynagh's native Italy are trying to dethrone the unbeaten streak of England at Twickenham. Louis, I presume you wish you were out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a tough. It's been great watching the guys as well. I've got quite a lot of teammates and friends in the Italy team and other teams as well. But it's been quite tough sitting on the sidelines watching this year's Six Nations go by. The weather's lovely here in Italy currently, so there's an upside in that respect. But no, it is. Yeah, it was unfortunate. The injury I got, I tore my not my ACL, LCL, and if you were to do an injury in your knee, it's probably the best one you could do. So seeing the positives in that respect, but the timing was the game before the Six Nations, and just bad timing. And I wish I could. I wish it went another way, but so is life. And yeah, here now rehabbing really hard. It's coming up to 2 months post-op now. So hopefully going to be back in the next month and a half. Fingers crossed if everything goes to plan.
It's quite rare to tear just your LCL and none of the rest of them, right?
That's exactly what my doctor said. I showed him the video of how it happened, and he was like, being honest with you, I really don't know how you didn't blow out your whole knee. And I'm like, well, I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yeah.
No, it was very much. I was very, very lucky. It was I'll send you the video afterwards, but like if you could see how I did it, you're like, how have you not done more? But yeah, literally, it was a clean tear. My LCL's just come off my fibula head. And all they had to do was reattach that and some of the biceps in my hamstring, and a 3.5, 4 month injury.
It wasn't a new graft that you reattached the graft rather than a new.
No, exactly.
I've done my ACL twice. You have to have a bit of your hamstring or a bit of your patella taken.
Exactly.
There's no replacement anything from anywhere.
No, exactly, and that's why I was so lucky. It didn't rupture; it just tore. So it literally. From the two, it tore from one of the ends and it just pinged upwards. So the whole ligament was there, just needed to be pulled back down and reattached. So yeah, very lucky again in that respect.
You did your meniscus back in 22, didn't you? Is this the same knee?
That was my right knee. This is my left knee now. So I've covered both bases now. So it's two different injuries though. The meniscus one actually felt. Even though it's technically not as bad as an injury, it lasted longer because of complications and the whole rehab. It hurt a lot more and had a bit of an effect, for a year post the operation and then fully coming back. But this one, like the LCL's outside the knee joint, and it actually feels really good right now. Touch wood. So hopefully I come back and. I'm better and stronger than before.
Is it the same as an ACL where full extension is quite? I mean, obviously you've got a rugby player's set of quads, which does help with that extension and breaking through it. But is it the same as an ACL in that extension is quite difficult to achieve?
Yes, it was initially. It was more the bending, because they did some stuff to the hamstring tendons as well. So it was more the bending and getting the full bend of the knee back instead of the extension. The extension came first actually, and now the bending is now getting a lot better. So it's really. I've been telling my friends, etc., that every day I'm making small progress, and it's very going back to my right knee. I hardly saw. There were days where I'd make progress, and then there were 2 days that it would just hurt loads, and I couldn't really do much, and I didn't make progress. Here every day, feel like I'm going up in weight in my rehab. I'm doing a lot more. So yeah, no, it's right now it's going really well, and hopefully I keep progressing quickly.
Yeah. Were you in Richmond last weekend? You picked the wrong weekend to go if that was the case. I think I saw on
I
your
was,
story. Yeah. So you're not
I
coming you're
was.
not coming back this weekend for the Twickenham.
No, I am. I am.
You are.
I'll be at the game. So no, it's because I've now got my last doctor's visit for my knee. So I'm coming back this weekend as well. So I'll be at the game cheering on cheering on Italy, and also some mates in the England team as well. So it's no, I'll be there with Dad and my brother.
Nice. Tom, presumably.
No, Nick, the youngest. Yeah. And Tom's
miles away, obviously.
He's playing Christchurch. He's playing Crusaders this weekend.
That would be quite a big commute to make.
Yeah. Just hop on over. I don't know how many miles it is, but
in the thousands, definitely.
Yes, yeah.
Is your doctor in London? Despite
it was Dr. Farah's her dad. He's very, very, very good knee doctor. I was very fortunate to be able to have him as my specialist, and it's a very funny story. So it's not funny, but interesting. I had the game against Zebra where I did it, and that week, straight after the game, we had a week's holiday for New Year's and stuff. So I'd already planned to go to London anyways, straight after the game, or the morning after. And obviously the thing happened, and we needed to get the knee scanned. And I was like, well, I can't really cancel my flights now because it would cost so much. So luckily the medical staff let me fly. The next day I managed to call in a favor and get a scan booked in on Monday morning.
Yeah.
And got the scan done, and we need a specialist to look at it. Luckily, we managed to get in contact with Farah's, and he managed to see me a few days later, and he determined that it was, he said it's very rare you need to operate on an LCL, but in your case you have to. And I was like, brilliant. I'm the one in 1,000 case. But no, that's how it worked. And now I'm here just rehabbing away.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure we'll be back squatting mega weight in hopefully not too much time.
Hopefully, exactly, yeah.
Got to ask a journey back a little bit. Obviously, following you as someone who's followed your sort of journey through Harlequins has been massively interesting. And I know you potentially could have worn 3 different international strips.
Yeah.
Got to ask about the transition from being in England squads under Eddie Jones. I think you were in 2 England squads. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, I was. 2 or 3. I think. Yeah, one of them. Yeah.
And then obviously the Italy call, which happened quite quickly, and certainly you being drafted in start happened very, very quickly. So much so that I don't know if you ever saw it, but there was the dodgiest looking Photoshop job on the Italy Instagram. I don't even know if it was your face on someone else's body or whether you actually had your own.
It was definitely that. It was my face on someone else's body. It was so bad. I remember seeing that. I was like, I don't even know whose body it was because there was no tattoos. So at least they got that right.
It wasn't Monty.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I actually don't know who it could have been. It was probably a props body or something.
That would have been slightly unflattering. The Sketchy's body or something like that. But I suppose talk about the potential or lack of, which I suppose led you to Italy with the Eddie Jones, conversations with him about your future with England, through to the whirlwind of you being drafted into play against Scotland, seemingly almost the week of.
Yes, yeah. So if we go back, to the England squads, I was lucky enough to, be able to go into those into those squads and play a good role in them. I trained a lot with all the guys who are now in the squad. I've obviously worked with Eddie, and I actually have nothing but good things to say about him. He was actually a really great guy towards me and helped me a lot with my confidence. Obviously, I was going into those England squads as a 20 to 21 year old, and obviously it was all very quick for me. It was the Premiership final, and then Didn't get into that initial summer squad. I think that was the line. Was that the summer of the Lions? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But I can't remember. But I didn't get into that, and then got lucky enough to be involved in some of the autumn camps, and then some of the Six Nations camps, and so on and so on. And yeah, I had a really good time, learning with all the boys there. They were amazing, that helping me as well. And it got to the point where I was getting closer and closer to potentially making my debut. I was traveling reserve in the last game of the Six Nations against France. I think where France won it.
2022.
Yes, that was it. Yeah,
in Paris. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and obviously that summer there was a tour to Australia.
Yeah,
and I having loads of chats with the coaches, etc., etc. And then last game of the season, I did my knee. And I'm not saying that I would have got picked. I'm not saying that, but there were a lot of good signs that I would at least go on the tour. And yeah, I tried to rehab it conservatively to maybe try and show that I was still able to get picked, but it just wasn't reacting well, and we had to get the surgery. And I remember the day before the surgery, Eddie called me and he was like, "Mate, what have you done?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get injured." So, no, but he's a really nice guy and about it all. And yeah, had the surgery. They went on tour, won it there, and came around to the autumn. And I was just then coming towards the end of my first rehab. And I went and saw the squad before they played South Africa, and saw them there. And then fast forward again, my knee wasn't quite right, and I had to get another surgery. So and by the time I got back, Eddie had left, and there was a new regime in, and never quite got. I don't know. It was just I had to come back from the injury, and it was all different. And then fast forward to the moment that you were saying about Italy and etc. We were in talks with Benetton about potentially signing there, and stuff behind the scenes was happening. And I remember once I finally put pen to paper with the Benetton offer, literally the day later, Gonzalo called me, and he was like, we chatted for a while, and he was like, "Yeah, so we're going to include you in this week's squad." And I was like, "Hold on, what the hell? This has happened all very fast." But no, obviously I was so excited for it, and it got into the point in my career where I chose the path I did, and at that point I was just ready to take the leap to international rugby. It's all I wanted to play. I thought I was close enough when I was young, a few years ago. Now I just that's where I want to play, international rugby. And I'm very fortunate in respects that I could have played for 3 countries, Australia, England, and Italy. And it just so happens my path was with Italy, and I couldn't be happier. We have such a talented group there. And like you were saying, it got off to a pretty good start. The first 2 games in the Six Nations. I mean, talking about dream debuts, it was pretty up there. Amazing having my mum and dad there, and scoring, winning, and then following up with a win in Cardiff as well is amazing. And it was really is credit to the job Gonzalo's doing with the team, but also the amount of talent that's actually coming through with the squad, with these young Italian players as well. So it's it's getting to the point where players who have a small bit of Italian in them and they can qualify for Italy are now looking at Italy and be like, you know what, I think I want to get over there and play for them. And you thinking 10 years ago, no one would have said that. The only people playing for Italy were Italians and maybe a few South Africans here and there. So it's huge respect to the coaching staff and the players for creating that opportunity.
Yeah, you joined a bloody exciting time, obviously. I hope you don't mind me asking, when Italy was put on the table, had the had you been told by England management that it probably wasn't going to happen anytime soon, or was it just an active a case of England being put in front of you? Italy being put in front of you, and you obviously want to embrace that with both hands.
Yeah. It was more the fact that, you know, I've been playing with Harlequins, and I had some, you know, I never had that quite. I had some really good that start of the season. I wasn't quite hitting the levels where, you know, I used to. I wasn't really. I was having a crisis of confidence. Other stuff was going on, and yeah, I obviously wasn't playing well enough to even get thought about or in contention for the England selection. So there's absolutely no bad blood there, and I love all the guys. I have so many mates over in the England squad, and they're doing great stuff over there. But it was more the fact that, you know, here's your opportunity to come and train first of all in the Italy squad and maybe fight for a position and make your international debut in the Six Nations. I mean, and that's happening now. I mean, there was no way I was going to say no. So it's more the fact that life kind of, you know, presented me with this opportunity. It would have been stupid of me to turn it down. So I was very fortunate again to have even a second thought, or do I do this? But it was more the fact, as soon as Gonzalo called me and we started chatting, I was like, it's time to do it. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, because if I remember rightly, it was Ange's injury, Capozzo, that obviously
it was Tommy Allen pulling out of the squad.
Oh, fine, okay, because Ange got injured quite early in the championship last year. Anyway,
yes, he got injured and then he came back. He was starting at fullback for my debut against Scotland.
Right. Sorry, yeah,
and then he got injured in that. He broke his finger in that game and didn't play in Wales. But no, it's I think it was Tommy Allen decided to take a bit of a break. I think from the squad.
I mean, it was. Sorry, go on.
Oh, go on.
It's a backline cohort and back three cohort in particular that you're a part of, in terms of Monty, Ange. Tommy has obviously moved back to 15 and he's so reliable with his boot that it looks like he may well stay there. Paolo, when he's fit, I'm sure there are names I'm forgetting as well.
Yes.
So, you know, I presume that's only a privilege to be a part of and brings the best out of each other.
Well, exactly. I think in terms of backlines, we're very exciting. We've got a very good blend of youth and experience. Like you're saying, we've got players like Tommy, and then also Nacho Brex in the centres, who bring that experience and having played for many years in Six Nations and other games, and combine that with and Monty. Sorry, and Monty obviously has played for many years as well, and then combine that with young players like Paolo, like Tommy Menoncello, like myself, and others. It is a very dangerous backline, and one that can, you know, will continue for many years. Like you said, Ange, I'm 24. Ange is 25 or 26. Tommy's 21, which is ridiculous. Tommy Menoncello. Paolo's 20 is my age, so it's exciting, and like I was saying earlier, it's credit to the Italian pathway and the talent that they're actually producing.
Does Tommy Menoncello lift as much as people say in the gym? Especially for a 21-year-old.
Yeah, more than people say. It's absolutely ridiculous. He's one of the most explosive people I've ever met, and as in can translate it to the pitch as well as in the gym. Like last week, I think it was when there was the off week for the Six Nations. He was in Benetton and he came in and was like, it was like meant to be like a recovery or like kind of relaxing lower body session, and he was squatting for a period and he just stuck on 190 kilos and squatted 5 reps. And I'm like, and I was sitting there like rehabbing and doing my, my right leg only, my right leg only, right leg only lower body session. He's over there just repping out. He didn't even look tired. And it was, he's just a freak. And if he can stay injury free, he'll have a hell of a career.
Yeah.
Well,
Have you
he already has. I mean, he's already won Six Nations Player of the Year. I mean, that's pretty amazing thing to do
deserved as
already.
well? We always say
Yeah.
on the podcast, and I think obviously it's a shame Sione Tuipulotu's injured, but I think along with Tuipulotu and Jones, that Brex Menoncello combination is probably the strongest centre pairing in the
Mm,
Six Nations, and certainly one of the strongest in the world. Have you
mm.
ever thought about a migration into 13? Because obviously you've definitely got the size and ballast for it.
I mean, I wouldn't mind, trying it out, but I think, I don't know, it'd be quite hard to change, mid-career
Yeah.
from playing in the back three since schoolboy rugby to then now being like, oh, I'm actually going to be
Because I know, for example, Caden Murley played 13 growing up,
Mm,
so for him it might
yes,
be a little bit
exactly.
easier. But I'm guessing you never did.
I played centre one season in schoolboy
Okay.
rugby because that was, what year was that? That was when I was 15. Yeah, I was. They
Quite a
wanted
while.
me to play. They wanted me to play 13, so get the ball in my hands. But
And to
like,
be
it's
fair, at Benetton, it's you got Tommy Manicello, Juan Ignacio Brex, and Malachi Fekatoa as well,
yeah, and Marco Zanon.
and
It's
Marco
a
Zanon.
huge and
That's
it's a huge centre
yeah,
cohort. It's their combined weight is like almost 400 kilos. It's quite crazy. No, but exactly, and it's amazing because Malachi helps Tommy a lot as well because Tommy's still young, but Nacho, like you were saying, the Brexton Cello partnership is just
yeah,
out. It's amazing, and it's because they perfectly balance each other. Nacho's a very skillful Argentinian uh, and loves to ball play, and Tommy as well, Tommy's very skillful as well, but he's that brute force. You have to put two people on him, otherwise he's gonna score a 60-meter try like he did against France.
yeah,
It's he's that. So he's the he's the type of player my dad always said is a tens dream to have in your team. Just
yeah.
someone who takes all the attention away from you, and you can then just play off him. And for example, like Andre for Marcus
Esterhazen, of course.
for Harlequins, you have to put three people on Andre,
Yeah,
otherwise he's gonna walk through your defense. But if you put three people on him, he has some of the best hands I've ever seen, and he could just pull out the back on a plate to Marcus, and Marcus is straight through the middle. So it was a very good dynamic, and that's exactly what is building at Benetton, and also, well, it's been happening for many years now, and also in Italy as well.
yeah. I think that's such an essential component now of any midfield, isn't it?
Mm.
That to call it get out of jail free player is maybe a little bit unfair on the fly half and on the player as well. But you know what I mean in terms of Marcus Smith is obviously a creator. When he can't create, Andre Esterhazen gives him at least a couple of meters over
Yeah.
gave him before he moved a couple of meters over the gain line. And all the best midfield partnerships in the world, your Italy's, your Scotland's, DLND for South Africa.
Yeah.
Obviously, England tried it, are trying it with Ollie Lawrence. They're still finding their feet, but they all have them, don't they?
Yeah, and it's very you saw that like trend early on when my dad was playing. It was a lot of it went ball players. There was a lot of ball, like Timmy Horan with my dad.
Yeah.
They played, so that he was more of a slight ball player, fast feet, and then it moved to having the big centers, and then it moved back to having a second fly half at 12 with the forward Farrell axis and all that sort of stuff. And now it's like you're saying, um, it's gone back to just, if you need that bailout option, you have that big massive guy outside your jar. Here's the ball, make 5 meters. But now it's kind of a hybrid, which is even scarier because now they're massive and can ball play.
Yeah.
like Sione Tuipulotu, like Andre, like Dialende, like now Tommy Menicello, like they're these unbelievably explosive players. But if they see that the 13 sinks in on them, they just pop it out the back, and then we play with a massive overlap. It's come a long way. My dad likes to say, "Oh, yeah, I could have played in this era and stuff like that. I'm like, Dad, the guys I'm playing are three
You would
times
have
the
had some
size
trouble.
of you. You would have had some trouble, I think, in defence, especially.
Yeah, but you're absolutely, and especially in terms of having a settled unit as well in the midfield, I think that's almost more important than ever, given the different roles that 12 and 13 play. Some teams put the ballast at 13, but really the number on your back doesn't matter in the same way between 12 and 13. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. British Lions tour this summer. Who would your starting midfield be at the moment?
The starting 12 and 13.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna have to go through all the teams.
Well, it's not a Welshman. I think it's safe to say.
No, what? I think if Tuipulotu's fit,
yeah,
and he makes it back from his injury, it's him nailed down. And 13's a really tough one because it depends if you have Sione, you might as well have Hugh Jones because Hugh's been playing unbelievably well this Six Nations already, but them two together is scary. Or you go with someone like Gary Ringrose, or God.
I think that's it. I think it's whether you split the unit up and bring in a Ringrose or a Robbie Henshaw.
Exactly, or even like a Henry Slade, sort of, someone who can bring the lightning to the thunder in some respects.
Never heard that expression, but I like it.
Yeah, well, someone's got to do all the hard carrying. The other guys kind of the neat ball player kicking off him, defends really well, and or they could go. Or they could go real big. Could go real big up front and go for like Tuipulotu and Ollie Lawrence, for example.
Can you imagine that with Bundyaki coming off the bench and
off the bench,
steamroller them with 105 kilo centres?
You might as well. Hey, that might be a game plan, especially against Australia. You might have to do that. No. I think it's if Sione's fit, he'll be the nailed on 12.
Yeah,
with probably Hugh outside him. Or you go Ringrose or Henshaw with a sort of one of those hybrid-esque players.
Ties into what we were saying about the unit as well. I think Hugh Jones has got his hands on the 13 jersey right now, and that's sort of the thing we have on the podcast. But I think having that established midfield, and Finn Russell's grip is maybe waning a little bit, but before the Six Nations, it was certainly Russell's 10 jersey would have been the Scotland 10, 12, 13. So that'll be interesting to see. Rack your brains for the back three as well, because I think I'm probably going to ask you what your back three would be, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
In terms of Harlequins being in the rearview mirror, obviously you're keeping an eye on presumably how Marcus is doing. Chandler's broken through with England since you left. Caden obviously made his debut against Ireland. Got a try within 8 minutes or whatever it was. How much are you still keeping tabs on each other with those guys?
Yeah, no, I speak to a lot of them each day or every few days. Finn as well. Finn was my Finn Baxter was my old housemate, my old flatmate.
Cool.
So he's one of my best mates. And I'm so happy he's finally he's nailed that. It seems like he's nailed down that 17 jersey for the time being, and I mark my words, he will be England captain one day. Honestly, he's made to be he's one of the nicest blokes you'll ever meet. Down to earth, really kind, really I wouldn't say soft, but doesn't want to get into a fight at any point. And then as soon as he's on the field, I've never seen someone hit so hard. It was he just generates so much power, and he just does his job perfectly right every time. So no, I keep tabs with him. I text Marcus a lot as well, not only to see how he is, but also for advice. We talk quite a lot. Play video games with him and Caden quite a lot as well. Well, the Quins boys, we don't play. They don't play much Call of Duty anymore. There was a period in time where there was 10 of us who would just play every night, and it was oh my god, I can't tell you the amount of fun it was. We do do you play Call of Duty?
I have done, but
Yeah.
not as much as some of my brother plays a lot. So it's in,
Yeah.
and he's one of my flatmates, so it's in the house a lot.
No, so we would do like private lobbies, so we can afford to have 10 people. So and then we
Yeah.
did like five against five search and destroy, and
Oh my god.
it would get very, very hectic.
Sleep
Very
cycle. Yeah.
it would get very, very things would be said very quickly, and it was a lot of fun. And then the next day we see each other and it would be all fine. It was I do talk to the Quins guys a lot, and obviously what you mentioned, Caden making his debut. I was so happy for him. It was very, very
Yeah.
well deserved, very long time coming, and I felt so bad when it came out that he had a foot injury or an injury of
Yeah.
some sorts, and hopefully can get back in for the last game, or at least get back into the camp. I'm not sure how bad the injury is, but I remember texting him congrats on for his debut, and obviously when I was watching it, I was very happy to see when he scored. And unfortunately, Ireland just edged them at the end, but it was it was a great game to open the Six Nations.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, it was a great. And I saw the video of his song afterwards as well. When he
It's like
received his cap.
Taylor Swift, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the Harlequins victory, win song.
Okay, I
So
didn't know.
I've heard that song about a million times now. I found myself singing along to it.
Yeah. I bet you
Out of
look really
habit.
cool. And I suppose going back to Italy just very quickly, Paolo Adogwu and you have done similar things. Whose Italian is better?
I mean, I hope you'd agree, but I would say mine.
Okay,
I would
because
say mine. Yeah,
I've heard yours. Yours is molto bene. I haven't actually heard him speak.
No, he can speak it, and he probably understands it more than he can speak it. But
Yeah,
no, yeah, I would say I think I've got that one on lock. I can understand all of like all the whole when I'm getting spoken to in Italian. Like, I can understand it all. I just am missing, a few intricacies with the language and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I'm getting better and better every day, speaking it a lot. So it's no,
yeah.
it's good. I've got my granddad here, obviously, and he doesn't speak much English, so uh, we have conversations in Italian. So it's good. It's good.
Nice. You still live with your granddad then in Italy?
Yes, yeah. When our family home here, which is it's like a second home basically. I used to come on holiday here with my family, every summer. So it's been much easier of a move for me than a lot of other foreign boys.
Does your granddad call you Luigi as well, or is that just the Italy camp?
No, that's just the Italy camp. He calls me Lou. Lou, yeah, Lou,
Okay.
a lot, or Lewis. But no, yeah, nicknames. I've gotten more since I've moved here. I had Lou. Lou was a bit the biggest one my whole life. Then at Quins, I was being called Noddy, which is my dad's nickname.
Yeah, I
So
remember him saying that, actually.
yeah, and then when I went to Italy camp, it would be Luigi. The Argentinians at Benetton call me Luisito.
Yeah,
So
like a
it's
little
little Lewis basically. So that's quite a cool name. So it's Luigi, Gigi, Luisito, Lewis, Noddy. Like it's there's no one that's sticking. It's just everyone has their own name for me basically.
Yeah. That's a little fun. I think I sent you the quickfire question section, and the very first one is nickname. So we've got that covered. Shall we?
I've got. Let me get it up. Yeah, I've got it here in front of me. All right.
All good. I think the second question will be easy. Best rugby memory.
Oh, it's hard. It's actually quite hard because
there are two, surely.
No, because I've got winning the Prem.
That's one
with Quins, and then making my debut and winning against Scotland I would say they're perfectly equal there because I mean that winning the Premiership was so special because no one expected us to do it. Not at some points we didn't even expect that we could we did it, and I remember that was my first taste of you know, winning something really, really huge in rugby. And I remember I still would get goosebumps months onwards, like even like hearing the commentary or watching it. And it was just, yeah, that was special. And then obviously making my debut at Scotland and winning and scoring a try, that was, it's on par. It's those two, definitely.
Are you the type to watch yourself back with things like that?
I,
I as well.
I do watch myself back. You know, not only the good stuff, but also the bad stuff. That comes with the analysis. You know, after the game. But no, I do like to watch back moments. You know, big moments in my career so far, like the Premiership final, my debut, the Wales game. You know, and yeah, no, I like to watch, you know, with dad or something like that, which is, and then he ends up being like, okay, let me get the VHS tapes out, and we can't even look at it online. It's that old.
Yeah. It's when we won the World Cup.
No, exactly. He literally 1 year when we were much younger. One night he sat us down at dinner. Was like, right, after dinner tonight we are going to watch my World Cup final against England. And I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it was quite a boring final.
When there weren't many.
It was boring. It was one maul try from Australia, and then it was just penalties.
Yeah.
No, but it was cool to see him win and lift the trophy.
Yeah, you question afterwards whether your dad's actually your idol or not. It's like you just want a boring World Cup.
yeah, God, that wasn't that hard.
Yeah, exactly. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Most embarrassing rugby memory.
God. Oh God. Actually, probably I hate, you know, singing. One, because I'm not a very good singer, but I hate like having to stand up in front of loads of people and sing a song or something like that. Like I've gotten better at it, but like I remember it was one time we just played Cast in the Champions Cup with Harlequins, and we were on the bus to the airport to go back to England, and the Joe Marler or Danny Kerr, someone stood up and was like, right, everyone who made their Champions Cup debuts, you're singing a song. And I'm like, and as soon as I heard that, I was like, no, please don't call my name, don't call my name. And I got called up and I can't remember what I sang. I think it was Rule the World by Take That. And I remember.
At least you'll have people singing along to that, to be fair.
No,
so you weren't your own. No? Oh, fine. Okay.
That's what was embarrassing. I had no one sing along because they were in that sort of mood. So yeah, sang the whole song and went back and sat down and was in a bad mood for the whole journey.
Pre-game tune, presumably it's not Rule the World, but I take that.
Yeah, I'm going to be quite boring here. I actually don't listen to music before in my head. I don't listen to music in headphones. Whatever's playing in the changing room at that point, that's what will be played out. But I don't know. I think I know one of the questions is about superstitions. I had I think it started from when I was in school. I once listened, you know, to music coming out of the bus at a school game.
Yeah.
And we ended up losing that game by 1 point, and I got tackled right at the last minute or something like that, and they turned the ball over. So since then, I've never listened to music coming off a bus before or anything like or pre-game. Okay. And so it's worked pretty well so far, but that's one of my superstitions.
That is sorry. Approach. No, don't be sorry.
Yeah,
but, I think Dad probably said the same thing. But with the younger guys, we tend to hear, you know, all of them.
And I kind of, especially like when I played big games or when I'm playing, you know, for Italy in big stadiums, I kind of don't want to be shut out in my own world. I kind of want to hear all the noise and all the shouting and, you know, people giving you confidence and stuff like that. So, or if they're hurling abuse at you, I want to hear that too. So it's kind of, I want to take in the atmosphere. It's rather than, you know, shut myself off and not hear anything.
Post-game meal.
Ooh, that's a good one. It would have to be a really like either a pizza. I do love a pizza. Um, or when I was playing back in London, it would be there was a Five Guys near where I lived, and
Easy.
oh my god, yeah, I would have a double bacon cheeseburger, but also a bacon dog, and some fries, and
It's not a meal
thin.
if it's after a game, is it?
Well, exactly. You just burnt
After
thousands of calories.
you did.
A nutritionist might be looking at this being like, what the hell is he doing? But no, I'd take everything they gave me post the game, but when I got home, I needed food.
Don't log it on your nutrition tracker.
Exactly. That I'm lying. Yeah. What do you eat post game? Oh, I ate a salad and
Salads and poke bowl.
yeah, and a protein bar.
Yeah. Good work, Lewis. Best player you played against?
Oh wow. Probably Finn Russell.
Okay.
Both for Bath and also against Scotland. More so against Bath because there was one game where he absolutely tore us to shreds, and he like kind of. I remember it was they were like in our 22, and he got the ball, and he kind of pumped. The defender who was opposite him stopped. So then, and I kept going forward.
Yeah.
And he kind of went a bit more and then just like zipped a pass straight behind me in front of another defender, and they just went straight through. And it was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I've heard things from I'm one of the Bath physios used to be my Quins Academy physio, Chris Oliver, and he was telling me about being there, watching Finn train, etc. And it's apparently him kicking a ball. Every kick would be right on the money. Like they would be catching it here. Every conversion would be going over. And it's working very hard. And I think he gets it. I know it's probably better now, but I know a couple of years ago he was getting a lot of stick, for being lazy or he doesn't seem like he cares, etc. But from what I've been told and what as a professional as well, you can definitely see he cares a lot and he's very, very good at what he does. So he was a great player to play against. Trying to think of others who.
I think Finn Russell's a pretty good one. So,
Probably DuPont as well.
Yeah, believe it or not,
I don't know.
He's been said one or two times, believe it or not.
Yeah, DuPont. I mean, that Toulouse team we played last year in the semi-final of the Champions Cup, it had everyone. So it's that Toulouse team is probably one of the hardest games I've played in. Yeah.
Best player you've played with? Obviously, you haven't played with either of those two.
Yeah, I only probably say either Marcus or Mike Brown.
Okay.
Mike, because when I made my debut of Quins, I was like 19. So and believe it or not, I was signed to Quins as a fullback. So my debut was at the wing, and for every game since then, apart from one or two, I've played wing. So I basically was learning how to defend in a new position because throughout my school and academy career, I was only defending as a fullback. So he was so helpful. He was like he was my mentor basically as I was coming through. So he just positionally, he never. As the winger, I remember I never really had to think about any decisions I had to make because he would always be in my ear behind me, telling me what to do effectively, and then he would do his job as well. And it just made like especially my first 5 or 10 games, he was there. And it made me look good because all I had to worry about was doing what he told me, and then when I got the ball, I just had to attack because Marcus was putting me in space. So it wasn't too hard, and I was like, "Oh, this is this professional rugby. It's pretty it's pretty good." No, but Marcus and Brownie, definitely, and I mean Danny Kerr as well. But I think Marcus is just as one of my really good mates, and I like to think we thought of the game in a similar way. That's why I loved coming off my wing and, you know, playing around him, whether that's offering myself on an inside ball, on his shoulder, out the back of a move. Yeah, just really got on with him off really well off the field, on the field, and yeah, hell of a player, and he keeps getting better every year. So he's not. I don't even think he's reached his peak yet. So it's pretty exciting to watch him play.
Well, let's hope not. I'm conscious of time, so let's blitz through the
Oh
other
God,
questions.
sorry. Yeah.
No worries at all. Favorite player right now?
God, you put me.
You're allowed to say Marcus if you want to.
Probably. I mean, as a back three player, probably James Lowe.
Okay.
But as a just rugby in general, I think Damien McKenzie or DuPont.
Nice. I think
Yeah.
you're one of the few. Well, James Lowe is a new one, especially as I think any supporter who doesn't support any team he plays for loves to hate him. Let's go. It just
yeah, we'll come on to why later. But also I want to put in Joseph Suwali as well.
Nice.
For Australia. I think even though he's only played a handful of games, in those games he was unreal to watch.
Yeah. Rugby idol. It's probably quite an easy one.
Yeah, probably my dad would be up there. I didn't get to watch much of him, funnily enough, but it's, you know, the way he's helped me since I've played, well, since I was really young to now, is amazing. So I have a lot to thank for him, and also my mum taking me everywhere. But no, I'd say rugby idols, probably my dad or Christian Cullen, Ben Smith, Israel Folau, amazing players.
Favorite stadium?
Twickenham or the Millennium. What
Principality
is it called?
now,
Principality. Sorry, yeah. They were amazing.
Favorite gym exercise?
None of them.
You're not a gym
no. I do like the gym. Probably leg press.
Okay, interesting. Occupation if rugby didn't exist. Well, we spoke about this off air.
Professional gamer or or hopefully finance once I get my degree done, or I would like to say I'd be a professional golfer, but I'm nowhere near as good enough to do that. But
what's your handicap?
Before the injury, it was an 11.6, but now it will be most likely a 20.
Okay. 11.6 isn't bad, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I had a period where I really was playing basically every day, so I got it down, and then since moving here, I haven't, been able to get it back down to that level. So yeah, I'd say an 18 right now.
We've done superstitions. Tough one. Rugby law you would change?
Oof. God. I really don't know. Can I come back to that one? Can I quickly go back? Can I do superstitions? I've got another one for that. Oh, hello.
Yeah. Go for it.
You can hear me. It was superstitions. The one. Yes, I can hear you. Another superstition I have is that when I go into the changing room, I do the exact same thing have the exact same order everywhere I am in every stadium. It's I'd sit down, I'd read through the program if it's there. I'd then I'd put socks on first. I'd be shorts on first, then socks, and then I'd put the socks up. I'd tape them before I then put on my shirt, and then I put on my waterproof if it's cold, and then take a caffeine gum, and then I'm out to warm up. And then boots, obviously. But it's pretty weird. But it's
Wow.
It just helps. It helps me get through the match in a way.
So you're secretly a bit weird then.
I'm very weird. Yeah, a lot of my mates will say that. Oh, and I've forgot the main superstition. Before I get changed, when I sit down, I take my boots out, and even if they're fully screwed in, I'll still go through each stud,
God, what a
and
pain.
screw, not unscrew them and screw them
Fine,
back in,
you
but
tighten.
just like I just tighten them, even though they're really tight already.
Yeah,
But no,
yeah.
that's superstitions.
That's slightly better than unscrewing every single one.
Yeah, no, that would be unbelievably
Well,
weird. That,
rugby would change.
oh, I really don't know, Ollie. I take the offside rule away, make it quite interesting.
Wow, seven style and just send everyone up. I know
Yeah,
offside still exists in sevens, but you don't do that
yeah,
sort of blocking defending.
yeah, exactly. Just I think take the offsides away and make very interesting defensive and offensive plays as well.
Wow, that is a new one. I think that would
Mm.
cause absolute carnage. And
Because it was the last thing I could. It was literally the only thing I could think of. There's definitely a more logical answer, but I couldn't think of it.
I don't think logic and rugby rules necessarily always go, or laws, sorry, necessarily always go together. So I think that's allowed. And
Yeah,
lastly, best thing about working in rugby.
just getting to do what I love and also a hobby of mine every single day. I get to go into a work environment which I love, do see some of my best friends or my friends for I don't know 6 hours a day, run around in the sun for a bit, sometimes the rain and wind, which is very horrible. But no, it's literally I couldn't be more. Almost every single one of my friends from school are in uni, finishing uni, their desk jobs, and I try not to complain about training and rugby because I know for a fact there could be a lot of worse stuff I could be doing other than running around on a rugby field and then getting paid to do that. So no, I'm very fortunate and I love, every obviously it has its ups and downs. There's frustrations with games and training, etc. But the overall I just love I've always loved rugby from the age from 4 years old, watching it, playing it. So I'm lucky enough to be a professional rugby player.
Yeah, 100%. Let's do a little bit around this weekend in more detail. Sort of touched upon it, and I know you'd love to be out there on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Almost got my days mixed up there. Your prediction. Let's go in with that. Yeah, obviously, part of our predictions league is the special guest team. So you're on a team with Jeremy Guscott, Brett Igo,
wow.
Craig Chalmers, and now yourself. You're second last in the league at the moment, so you can push yourselves up with a correct result here. All of us are unfortunately backed an England win, so you're going to have to fight your corner and fly the flag a little. So you
I've set
Italy win, don't you?
Yeah, so I've got Italy at 24, England at 21. It's going to be tough. Like obviously, everyone's got England winning, but it's going to be tough. We've never beaten England, as you said earlier on in the podcast, but I believe we are due a win, and I feel like we're going to spring a bit of a surprise, whether that's new moves or playing. And people will be looking at the French game last week and thinking, oh yeah, Italy of old, they've not come anywhere. But if you really look at it, in the first half, some of the stuff that was played by Italy and obviously France was really good. I mean, we scored first, and we had all this the possession. The only reason we didn't do more with it was because when we scored, we let France off the pressure and allowed them to score twice right after we'd just scored. And France were on fire, so it's hard to beat France when they're playing like that. But no, I think it will be really tight. It could go both ways, but I've got Italy winning 24-21.
In the build up to a game like that, obviously you haven't been in camp for build up to an England game just yet with Italy, but obviously Italy have never beaten England. How is the sort of approach in terms of general belief? Because obviously, as many defeats as there have been, 24 of them since the Five Nations became six. How do you still instill that belief, and how does the leadership group in Lamoureux and Brex go about doing that?
Yeah, I think they, like we were saying, it was almost like seeing the ball go through the net. It was once we got those two wins against Scotland and Wales last year and drawing against France, I think the public and also the players were like, oh my God, yeah, like we're a good team. We've got the potential. And since Gonzalo's come in, he's really installed discipline, focus, a lot of detail as well, which past Italy teams never had. And it gives he gives a very clear game plan of uh, every week for the opposition. So I know, obviously, I've been speaking to a few of the lads. I don't know what the what it's been like this week, but I know for a fact that it'll be a very detailed game plan, attacking weaknesses, trying to nullify the English threats, and
Yeah,
yeah, I really do think, obviously, in the backs of loads of people's heads, it will be those. How many years did you say? 24 years
yeah,
without beating England. That will be in backs of people's heads. But honestly, you know the way Italy have been playing, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a big shock, whether it's a close defeat, whether it's a close win. But I do hopefully, and also in my opinion, I think it will be a close game.
do you take encouragement from the fact that obviously, look, England are 2 wins from 3 when I think everyone feels they don't necessarily deserve to be? Two one
Mm.
point wins where the French essentially threw it away. Then there are a couple of refereeing discrepancies in the Scotland game, but also Scotland weren't particularly clinical. Italy take encouragement from that, presumably, in that you've got a team that somehow is second, third in the table,
Mm.
but really is there for the taking. And I think England could quite well lose one of these next 2 games against Italy or Wales.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at the English results, when you look at it, they've won two games out of three, and no one can take that from them, regardless of the performances and stuff like that. They still won, and the amount of talent they have in that team, they're bound to have a big game, or they should be winning most of the games in the Six Nations. And yeah, I do think, like you were saying, there is an opportunity to pip them and put a big performance over them. But you obviously can't take them lightly. It's England, the talent that they have, the way that they can play, the way they have started to show that they can play as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't take them lightly ever. So it's hard to call, because England's England, and they've been showing really good signs of encouragement about the style of their play, the players finding their feet and finding form. But then also there's good encouragement from Italy in regards to they've been playing some really good free flowing rugby, tidy up a few things on the defence, and a few things go your way, then yeah, it might be a famous victory in England, which I really hope to see.
Yeah, it would be a hell of an occasion if that did happen. Now, the
Mm.
very final question on this game: the rumors are that Marcus Smith is not going to be in the starting 15. Presumably, he'll be coming off the bench, and obviously, what we've seen is Finn Smith make a genuine claim to the 10 jersey. What did you make of Marcus moving to 15 first of all? And look, I know we feel he should be starting for England on this podcast. I know you're going to. If it doesn't go that way, well, where do you see that for him, and how will that affect him?
I know. Well, let's start with. I know Marcus. If it is true and he has been moved to the bench, I know for a fact that will just make him want it more. He'll have more desire to play well. He'll have more desire to bring a positive impact to the whole squad. Whether
Yeah,
when he does get the chance to come on in training, I know that that's the type of person he is. Um, I don't know what um, Steve's decision is or what, but I know they'll put their strongest team out on the field on the weekend. And yeah, I just think Marcus coming off the bench, it could be a really good move, because he could bring a lot of energy and a lot of attacking prowess off the bench, and that's what the move to 15. I know he's played a bit of 15 at Quins, and if you're talking about an attacking 15, there's not many better in the world that on what Marcus can do back there. So and he provides something different. It's a different option at 15 as well and then you've got Freddie Stewart there. I don't know. It might. I don't know who's playing 15 this week. I saw it might be Elliot Daly.
It might be. Yeah, that's what the press is saying. Obviously, I think the team is likely to be announced either today or tomorrow. So we'll see. The rumours are Daly, who's obviously impressed in coming off the bench twice, but Daly maker at 15. He was a tackle misser at 15, and he's also obviously 31, 32. He's not exactly the fullback of tomorrow. Look, obviously it's all speculative at this point, but good to know that it'll only galvanise Marcus as well, because I know, well, everyone I've spoken to who knows him, I'm sure you would testify as well, says how hard he works. The standards he sets for himself are relentless. I just hope that if he doesn't meet that standard, i.e. after his coming of age in the autumn, he drops out of the starting 15 a few months or few games later, it doesn't sort of get him affected.
I agree with that. It's I know for a fact it will only bring positive impact out of him. I know for a fact he'll be gutted. He's one of those people who will do anything to play for England and play for Harlequins and play for England. He's very, very rarely injured. I think he's only missed a handful of games with injury before. And he prides himself on his fitness and how, like you were saying, how hard he works. I don't think I've seen someone work harder than him. He's first guy on the field, last off it. He's kicking on his off days with Johnny Wilkinson. It's testament, because then you see how he plays. He's one of the best players in the world. I think it might be, like I was saying, I think when he does get the opportunity to come on the field, if he does this week, he'll tear up. I know that for sure.
France-Ireland is obviously the hardest one to call. You've backed a France win, as have all of us. Actually, we did our predictions at the start of the tournament, just because we like to do it that way, and it usually ends up looking a bit silly towards the end of it. They probably don't go in as favourites, particularly away from home. So why have you backed the French? Is that off the back of how good they looked against you guys?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just this squad has a bit like England. The squad that has so much talent. Do you know if Entomac's going to be back?
He will be back. I don't know if they pick him, because Ramos. Obviously, you have to pick Ramos, but Leo Barre, who was the fullback who played against,
he was unbelievable, wasn't he?
He was unreal, and I wouldn't be dropping him. No. So I don't know if you pick Ntamak personally. I think you keep it as it is.
No, and I think it's very dependent on what the weather is going to be like in Ireland. Because I think if it's clear skies, really nice weather, I think the French win. Because
really,
it's just the physicality, the weight of their pack, and then the skills that they can also produce. Not only the backs, but also the forwards. The forwards are getting making a half break, offloading. Dupont's there, he flings it wide, and then the backs are on top of you. And it's the speed. Speaking to some of the guys in the Italy team, they were just saying the speed was just unbelievable. Yeah. And I think the way Ireland could win, and I'm not taking anything away from Ireland. I mean, again, I said France are going to win by 3 points, but again, it could go either way, weather dependent, and also if Ireland have their injuries back as well, like Tyg Furlong and Caelan Doris, etc., etc. So it's if a full French outfit versus a full Irish outfit. I think if the Irish manage to slow the French ball down at the breakdown, then they win. But if the French are allowed to play on top of the Irish, then they win.
Yeah, it's got the making of a 1-score difference at most, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the last time the French played the Irish in Dublin, the first 20 minutes, I don't know if you remember it, were some of the best 20 minutes of Six Nations rugby you'll ever see.
Was that 2 years ago, or was it?
2 years
Yeah,
ago,
2 years.
yeah. I think there were 3 tries in the opening 10, 20 minutes.
Yes, yeah.
Heno scored on. That was the one, the game where Dupont, like basically fireman's lifted Matt Hansen off the try line.
Yes, yeah. I remember.
Unbelievable game, and I'm sure there'll be similar
Yeah.
fireworks on Saturday. I think. Look, we've sort of run out of time a little bit. Wales, Scotland, obviously, will also be interesting to see whether the Welsh continue their sort of performance momentum that the game against Ireland gave them. Lewis, when are we next likely to see you back on a rugby field?
Hopefully April time. I'm pushing for early to mid-April, but the physios have a timeline of late April. So I'm hoping, I'm trying to push real hard and working every day towards it. So fingers crossed I make good progress.
Yeah. All right. Well, stay at the rehab then. I'm sure you will. And yeah, we can't wait to see you back out there, and also hopefully see you in the Six Nations next year as well.
No, thank you very much for having me on as well. It's sorry for talking so much, but no, I do. Like I said, I love rugby, and I could talk for hours about it. So no, thank you for having me.
Nah, massively appreciated, Lewis. Catch you soon.
Thanks for listening to this week's edition of the Rugby Paper podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on whichever podcast platform you use and recommend the show to your friends. The Rugby Paper is available to buy every Sunday, and to make sure you don't miss it, subscribe through our print, digital and online options at therugbypaper.co.uk/subscriptions. That's therugbypaper.co.uk/subscriptions to get all our content for as little as 14p per day.